has been almost 10 years since the Thinking Schools Learning Nation initiative was introduced in Singapore. Many say the stresses faced by teachers today stem from the many changes in the system which were aimed at helping students develop creative thinking and learning skills. We spoke to some teachers, and for them this newer, more exploratory, more innovative method of teaching is really not quite the issue. In fact, they're all for it. The problem is there comes all the other extra things that they have to do, so that it doesn't leave them with very much time to go for this exploratory methods of teaching. Is that what you understand as well?
As all of these things come, you would need to think differently. And I think it is the thinking differently that makes for different work. And different work inevitably becomes a little bit more work. Because things get a lot more complicated as we do this. For example, when you want to do something exploratory, you would say, I would like my students to learn by going on a boat, going to this farm, etc. Well, for that, you've got to hire a bus, you've got to negotiate with the farm. A particular farm may say, we can give you this program, and then inevitably the accountability issue will come in. All right, is this farm's product as good as another farm's product? Have you got the quotations for it? So then, finance comes in.
At least one retired teacher that we have spoken to says that there are so many good ideas, but at the end of the day, have we lost sight of what is important?
No,
that is to teach the children,
yes.
And that the teachers must always be there for the child instead of planning some CCA somewhere, winning some awards somewhere else.
Okay. But a lot of the good ideas come to help teaching be more meaningful. That's why they are good ideas. It's not a good idea to get an award. I think the award was just that structure to give it a kind of a framework.
Belinda says these days, teachers no longer carry out administrative duties like collecting school fees, and there are more clerical support staff in the schools. There is also a structured mentoring program for schools which have identified the most vulnerable points in a teacher's career. For the target is to have a 30,000 strong teaching force by the year 2010. Singapore is still 3,000 short.
They found that one point would be during the first year, because the first year is really quite terrifying. There are so many new things to do, and it's a totally new culture, etc. So that first year is really tough. And then there is another point, I'm not quite sure whether it was at the third year, when the bond is up, and then people will think, do I really have another choice?
Why is it so important that the signs of stress are recognized?
If they were not recognized, we lose so much. We need all of you, because as many of you as we can keep successfully helps us to therefore have enough teachers to keep some class sizes down. So it's important to us. Every teacher that leaves the profession for whatever reason is a loss.
As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. At Rulang Primary, there's a mentoring and buddy system in place that makes sure the new teachers in their midst gets the same support. Rachel, for example, can count on 3 mentors.
Other than a mentor, we actually have a buddy teacher who is usually the teacher of the class next to my class. So any problems that I encounter, I can actually just refer to her. And also we also have a level representative. So in any case, if we need any resources or we are unclear of anything, we can actually refer to her also.
I guess sometimes the mentoring is not very formal. Sometimes it can be just a meet-up along the corridor, and then we can just tell her the problem we face on the actual day, and the mentors, they will just help us directly, immediately.
What do you think is the most critical factor that makes the mentoring system work?
I think we must be very open and non-judgmental, because as mentors, we are not there to judge whether they are doing a good job. We should be very understanding. That means every time they have a problem, we target at the problem. We really try and solve that problem together. I think that's more important than telling them where you have gone wrong, because we all make mistakes and we all learn through our own mistakes.
Your school has won the Best Practice Award for Staff Welfare, which means that you have a reasonably supportive environment for young teachers and for teachers in general. Do you think that amongst your peers, they get the same sort of environment and support from the school?
Different schools, they actually have different practices. Like for our school, we actually have like buddies and level representatives and mentors, and also our HOD is actually very open. So anything that we encounter, we can talk to them. But for some of my friends whom we graduated together from NIE, it doesn't seem to be such an environment in that place.
At the end of the day, when helping teachers deal with burnout, the interests of the child are never far behind. And the teachers who are challenged almost on a daily basis by the demands of their job hope parents realize this too. I hear a lot about unreasonable parents, if you like, parents with unrealistic expectations, even some who abdicate their responsibility because their children spend so much time in school. You better be in charge of him or her. How much of that stress is coming from parents?
Yes, I must agree that parents do give a lot of stress because of those expectations they set. Although while we feel that stress, I think for quite a few of us there is also this underlying sympathy, because we can sense literally the fear the parents have. They are afraid they are losing it with both their children, with their children's future, and with their own effectiveness. The times when I'm most irritated with a parent, I'll tell myself and pray a little prayer and say, God, she obviously needs help. That's why she's saying this. And please help me see that, you know, because very often it is a cry for help.
Nowadays, even like you want to put a remark in the column that this child is lazy, oh, you are not allowed to use the word lazy. Right? You've got to use politically correct word like, although he has vast potential, but he is not he's not realizing the potential. So how else can we put it? But he's just lazy. He's not putting the effort. The same message I'm going to put across to parents: come and support us. Give us the support. Give us the understanding. Right? Give us that room to deal with the children the best way that we know.
It's a support needed from all groups, as even the most dedicated of teachers could find that there are times when their tanks are running on empty, and they need to recharge to push on. Send your feedback and suggestions to getreal@channelnewsasia.com.